Hello ladies, and welcome to day 3 of Inspired Impact. I'm super happy to have the sun back today. It was freezing yesterday down here in Melbourne. Well, it was freezing for me anyway. You might have noticed that I'm doing all of these lives outside, and there are several reasons for that. First off, I'm not actually at home this week when I wanted to be going live with you, so that's one reason. But the second is I'm doing them outside, and that is because outside is a happy place for me. And I was thinking about it this morning while I was driving in, and I thought I would ask you, what is your happy place? Do you have one? Do you know where that is? And it doesn't need to be a physical location that you can only get to sometimes. It might actually be, hey Katrina, how you going? It might actually be something that you can make happen anytime. So for me, it's outside. And you've seen me, or maybe you've seen me, oh my gosh, I just need to move out of the sun a wee bit. There we go. Go live from my garden outside. We have a beautiful garden at my house. But generally, when I need to breathe and just kind of get my head in the game again, get my right space, I go outside and I just breathe for a bit and walk around and just enjoy the outside space. So I would love to know what your happy space is. Today, I am talking about trust. And trust of yourself and trust of your dream, because those are things that are incredibly important in creating a business that is full of impact and getting the results that you want, that you desire, that you deserve. And I want to remind you that these videos aren't going to stay up permanently. So I've popped the link in for you to sign up to be able to get that download page straight to your inbox so that you can access the videos for Inspired Impact anytime you like, to go back and get those tips and tricks moving for you. Now, also just a quick reminder, I am opening up applications for the Empowered CEO Academy in just over a week, and so that will be super exciting. And I have some very exciting training coming next week that you'll have the opportunity to sign up for later this week. So let's recap just a wee bit. Day one we talked about self-belief, and we talked about being able to identify those self-beliefs that you may not realize that you have that are holding you back. You know, the underlying beliefs that kind of go, oh, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I deserve this. I don't think this is possible. The self-beliefs that are getting in the way of you moving forward in your business. And we talked about confidence, and we talked about how you can start to convince yourself of your worthiness. Hey Bonnie, how you going? Then yesterday we were talking about fear, because fear is something that gets in the way for all of us. Oh my goodness, this sun. I always forget that sun moves. There we go. Let me go stand in a little shadow of a tree. We talked about fear. So fear that comes up when we're trying something new, when we are wanting to grow, when we're worried about something, when we're trying to stretch ourselves or step outside of our comfort zone. And what are some of the things that you can do to make peace with that fear? It's not a thing that you can stop from happening. And we talked about how your brain is kind of doing that. Oh, good. Thanks, Bonnie. That's great to know, actually. And so we want to make peace with it. We want to acknowledge the fear. We want to be able to walk alongside it, but then show ourselves that it might not be a valid fear, and we can go ahead and do the things we want to do anyway. And that leads into today, because today I want to talk about trusting yourself. And I think that this is a muscle that we don't flex all that often. I think that we train ourselves to doubt. We train ourselves to worry about whether we're enough. We train ourselves to, do you know what, I actually think it comes from the mum muscle. And, you know, it comes from that whole, guilt for not being the mum that people think that we should be, or that we might think that we should be. It comes from, watching how other people parent and then doubting the decisions that we make. It comes from all sorts of different areas like that. But we take that and we kind of embody it, and it becomes part of us and part of our core identity. And so what I want to say is that we don't have to accept that. You actually can control your core identity. You can control who you are and who you are meant to be. Nobody else can control that but you, actually. And I think by learning how to trust ourselves, and we'll get in day 5, I'm going to be talking about empowerment more, but I want to stick today just with trust, is how do you start to build trust in yourself and your capability? How do you go from that place where you might have a new idea and you might doubt whether it's a good idea, or you might not be acknowledging your expertise, you might be not acknowledging the experience that you have, you might not be acknowledging the transformation that you can help somebody create in their lives, or the impact that you can help create in somebody's life through your business or through life in general, as you play the different roles that we all play in our lives. And so I'm curious, I would love to see some comments come back as you guys come and watch this. Do you trust yourself? What comes up for you when you ask yourself that question? Because it's one of those things that you can very easily skittle over the top of, and then you're kind of saying, okay, yeah, of course I trust myself, like, of course I do, and you move on. But actually, let's think about that for a minute. It took me a long time to trust myself. And sometimes, regularly, because, I'm human, I still doubt myself, and I still have to go through, and that's why I have, all these different tools that I use when things come up. So I think that for you then, how can you start to trust yourself? How can you start to put in place some simple actions that can build your trust of your ability to deliver, to do things? We're talking about this in the context of your business for now, because that's what Inspired Impact is aiming to help you with. But hopefully you can see that it's something you can use in any area of your life. So with trust, as you know, with another person, trust is something that's earned. And if you think about it, when somebody earns your trust, it's usually through a series of where they've done something that they said they were going to do when they said they were going to do it, or they have given you some support, or added value to you in some way, or helped you out, or proven themselves to be authentic. They've kept their word. That's usually a massive part of how we learn to trust another person. It's not that different when you're learning to trust yourself. So, do you keep your word to yourself? Do you see yourself saying, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then not doing it? Something like that, it chips away at your trust, your belief that you're going to be able to deliver, that you're going to be able to do the things that you say you're going to do. And when it comes to your dream, that dream life that you're thinking about, or where you want to be, or your dream for your business, your dream for the impact that you want to be able to create at some point, you lose your trust in your dream being able to become a reality. It becomes completely disconnected from, where you are and where you can be, because you're not being true to yourself. So what are some of the trust activities that you can do for yourself? What are some of the things that you can say, okay, I'm going to do that? Going live every day of the week for 1 week in your Facebook group. If you make a commitment to yourself, then make sure that it happens, and that builds the trust. If you set something in your business, I'm going to reach out and do my follow-up calls with 5 people this week, and then actually make sure that you go and do it. That builds trust. promising yourself that you're going to have some downtime and you're going to sit with yourself and allow yourself half an hour just to work out where you're at and work out where you need to get to next week, and then making that happen. That builds trust with yourself. Can you see what I'm talking about? Hey Annette, how you going? It's really important to start to put things in place and consciously acknowledge that that's what you're doing. That's okay. You can't trick yourself. You're a smart woman. So just be honest. Self-talk is so important. Self-talk is so important. And so maybe one of your trust exercises is going to be, I'm going to catch myself out every time I use negative self-talk. Every time I say something like, oh, what an idiot, I can't believe I did that. Then consciously call yourself out and say, no, I'm not an idiot. Sorry, self. That's a trust exercise. And what you want to be doing is growing this circle of trust that you have with yourself, so that you know and you can have unshakable confidence in your ability to do something. Yeah? And the reason I say start small is because as it grows, then you start to go, well, I know I can do that. I know that I'm going to get that result. It'll be fine. And you can see that starts to give you that strength of mind and courage and confidence. And then sometimes the fear doesn't come up quite so much. And so you're both working out where your circle of trust is with yourself and expanding your confidence at the same time. And it's super, super powerful for you and your business, because when you trust yourself, you just get in and do stuff. And what you're actually going to learn to do is you're going to learn to trust your instincts. Because until you start to trust yourself again, and the tangible, well thought out actions and plans and things like that we put in place, until you get to that point of trust, there's no way you're going to learn how to trust your instincts. And your instincts is where the absolute gold is for you, for your life and for your business, because you already know what the answers are. You already know, with all of the goodness that's in here and in your heart, the things that you need to do to make your business a success, but you're doubting yourself, you don't trust yourself, and you don't have the confidence to make it happen. Fortunately, those are all things that you can fix if you're determined to do it. And that's what this week is all about. So your homework for today is to really sit with yourself for a moment and think about, do I trust myself? What don't I trust myself to do? Where are the beliefs that I hold about myself where I go, I'm never going to do that? There's no point me setting a goal because I know that I'm not going to do that. Well, and then how can you turn that around to starting to be able to trust yourself? And what are your trust activities that you're going to put in place so that you can start to build that for yourself? Hopefully that has been helpful for you today. Do go back and watch the other videos because they do link together. So if you are just catching the replay on this one and you haven't caught the other Inspired Impact videos from day 1 and 2 of this week, if you search in the group #Inspired Impact, you will find the videos. And make sure you go ahead and sign up so that you have access to these on the training page that I've created for you. It's completely free, and I'm downloading these and popping them onto there so you can go back and refer to it at any time. Now tomorrow I'm also going to be opening up registration for my free masterclass next week, and that is my 5-step super effective strategy for creating a 5-figure product. And my whole goal is to set you up for success. So you want to be looking at Inspired Impact. You want to be understanding some of the mindset stuff that's holding you back, how to deal with fear, why you're not taking action in your business, and when you are, why that has worked or hasn't worked, or why you potentially haven't taken action as much as you could have been to get the outcome that you were looking for. And then once you've got things in place around your confidence, around your mindset, you need a system. You need to know what the steps are. What are the steps that I can put in place practically to create a product or a service that is going to get the results that I'm looking for? And that's what that masterclass is all about. So I'm looking to set you guys up for success. All right. As always, pop a post into the group. I would love to see what your inspired impact reflections are, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys, and have an amazing day.